The first item is probably not what you're expecting. Finding out that you are pregnant for the first time is such an overwhelmingly exciting moment in life, and it brings up so many emotions. But living in the very consumeristic society that we do, it is really hard not to get caught up in Instagram mums and Pinterest boards of perfect neutral tone nurseries that you have just been conditioned to want your whole life. I haven't even used Instagram in 3 years, and I still got super sucked up in Pinterest boards and YouTube mums and the products they recommended, and ended up buying a few things that we just didn't need. I am a self-professed minimalist. We try really, really hard to be very conscious of what we buy, and yet when you're becoming a parent, you just don't know what you're gonna need. You just have no idea what being a parent is gonna be like. By the way, hi, I'm Maddie. I didn't even say that. I have a 20-month-old toddler, and now that I've been a parent for nearly 2 years, I have come to believe that you just have no idea how you're gonna feel and what you're gonna need at any given moment. You don't know what is gonna work for you or your child or your family. So I ended up coming up with a bit of a mantra, which is, when in doubt, wait. If you're not 1000% certain that this thing is definitely necessary, not just nice, but necessary, just wait. Just give it a month. Literally the amount of times that I was like hell-bent on getting something and I just waited, and then it just left my brain because my daughter just grew and changed and we just didn't even need it anymore. The phases they go through are so short. The first thing I have on this list is a cot. It was just like the top of my list. Like, you picture a baby coming into your home, you picture a cot or a crib. And turns out a lot of people don't use them. A lot of families don't use cots. Even if you're gonna use a cot, you're probably not going to use it until your child is like 4+ months old. So there is no reason to get one while you're pregnant. The thing is that bed sharing is really common. Different health systems in different countries have different recommendations around this, and it's something that I'm going to talk about in a video later on. But there are ways to bed share safely. A large portion of parents in the world tend to bed share. You cannot know when you're pregnant what you're actually going to do, what's going to work, how you're going to feel when you're super sleep deprived. So my advice is just wait. You can get by with just a cot mattress or a bassinet, because you're probably going to want one of those anyways. Now, I was really lucky where the bassinet is concerned. I wanted a Moses basket so badly. They look so beautiful. Oh my gosh, they look so practical. I wanted one so badly. And I had a cousin who lent me a bassinet. And I was so bummed out because I was like, well, now I can't justify getting a Moses basket because I have this bassinet that's for free. And I am so glad, because I used that bassinet for maybe a week. I never would have used a Moses basket. My baby was not keen on being put down for nap. And if she did, I just put her in our bed and it was fine. Or on a cot mattress on the floor. There is just no need to buy these things. Also, when it comes to bassinets and Moses baskets, the time that you use anything that is a product for a newborn is so short. It's a couple of months. It's such a short period. So to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on something that they can only use for a couple of months, it's quite absurd. You don't need a bassinet. You may end up wanting one, but step one, is there someone you can borrow one from to try? That is the best thing you can do. If you know anyone else with a kid, they're probably not using the bassinet anymore because they probably used it for a couple of months. So see if you can borrow one, and if not, try and get one secondhand. But like, realistically, just wait. A lot of prams have a bassinet attachment that is safe for a newborn to sleep in. So start with that. And if you are using it all the time and going, okay, we are a bassinet family, we need this, then go get one. It takes 2 seconds. You might need a reason to leave the house when you have a newborn. I started getting into Montessori while I was pregnant, so I ended up getting rid of the cot before the baby even came and switching out for a floor bed. I felt funny just having a mattress on the floor though, because it didn't look very ready or complete, and so I went and got this IKEA bed. There was a toddler bed that would last her for ages, and we had the legs cut off, so it was a floor bed, and it was so cute and it looked like we were ready. We ended up bed sharing. We got rid of it when she was like 6 months old. If we had somewhere to store it, we might have kept it, but we didn't. So we just let go, and we will get her a bed when that time comes. But for now, she's in the bed with us, and that is working for our family. Next item is a dummy clip. Now, I don't know why I was so excited to get a cute little dummy clip. They just looked so cute and practical. And when my daughter ended up being into dummies, I felt this like excitement of like, oh, I'm justified. We need a dummy clip now. They're so expensive. Oh my gosh, they're so overpriced. I think the thing cost us like $35 Australian. It was super practical and I was stoked. I was like, It's so practical. I don't know why everyone doesn't use these. And it was awesome. We used it every day for like a month or two. And then she got strong enough to pull it off. And she would pull it off the second I put it on her. And she would pull it off me if I put it on me. The reality is, if your baby uses a dummy and you find you want to have one on you, you just need to buy clothes with pockets. That's what ended up being the solution, was only wearing clothes that had pockets. Dummy clip, $35 for like 2 months of use. Next thing on my list is one of those fancy playmats. Oh my goodness, aren't they pretty? Oh my goodness. Now, I want to say with this was something that for the longest time I did just wait. I was like, just wait, we might not need it, just wait. So we went the first like 10 months without one. And admittedly, there was a phase where we had, around 6 months, a lot of people tend to sit their babies up, which in hindsight, I wish we didn't do. I'm going to talk about that in another video. Natural gross motor development, look it up. But it's really common for a lot of people to sit their babies up. And once you've sat them up, they want to sit up. But because they didn't get them themselves, they can't get in or out on their own. And they're not very steady. So if you sit them down, they topple. And there was a phase of a month or two where she was constantly toppling and hitting her head. And I was like, we need a squishy surface to put her on. And so we would put her on soft blankets with pillows. And that got us through. The other reason I really wanted one was because we did EC and we did a lot of nappy free time. And I loved the idea of having something wipeable. But again, I just was like, just wait. And we didn't get one. We got by with towels. We had like a timber floor. We put a towel down if she was on a rug. I think we got given a voucher. I was like, I want one of those playmats. It just makes so much more sense. I'm sick of cleaning rugs because I think our dogs as well were going through a phase where our older dog had like incontinence. And I was like, if we just had a rug that was wipeable, it would save me washing all these towels, washing all these blankets, washing out the rug. We're just going to do it. But of course, I was like, if we're going to do it, I want a nice one. It's going to be in the middle of our lounge room. I want it to be beautiful. Long story short, I fell in love with one that was, I think, $250. And the voucher that we'd been given didn't even end up working. But by the time we realized the voucher wasn't working, I was committed and we got it. And we loved it for the 2 weeks that we used it. And then we moved house. We moved in with my parents when my daughter was 10 months old. And there's nowhere in this house to actually put it. So it has been in storage under our bed because it's too nice to put outside because we don't want it to get moldy because we spent so much on it and it's beautiful. And we're excited to, like, when we have our own place, put it somewhere. But right now there's just nowhere to put it. And they have a cat who would just like rip holes in it. And I just am like, we didn't need it. We didn't need it. We got through 10 months without it. We just didn't need it. It could have been useful. It could have been nice. But I would say it's a want, not a need. They are beautiful though. Now, onto toys. I got a little bit sucked in. I was determined not to buy toys new. I was determined not to even buy toys because you get given so many as a parent. I just don't think you really need to buy them because they just find their way into your house anyways. But you want to. You want to be intentional, and I was getting really into Montessori. I was DIYing a lot of Montessori toys, but it was around that time that we'd sat her up and she was very frustrated all the time because she couldn't get to things because she was stuck in this sitting position. Again, natural gross motor development, look it up. I was like, she just needs some toys that she's gonna love. I'm just gonna do it. And so I bought a box of Montessori toys. Let me be honest, they were beautiful. They were so well made, they were beautiful. But for the price tag, oh my goodness. And shortly after buying this box, I found the Rye philosophy. And so she'd had like this shelf with all these beautiful Montessori toys. And like, I'm a Montessori believer, but do you need to spend this much money on beautiful, well-made wooden toys that only last for a really short period while they're into that activity? I don't think so. She did like them. She played with them. She got the hang of the object permanence box really quick. And she did, like, let me say, she liked them. She played with them. But it's not like she would play for hours with them because, you know, the cycle finishes with Montessori toys. And then we got into Rye and I swapped them out for baskets of random kitchen items and open-ended things, and she would play for hours. And I was like, oh god. All she needed was like empty toilet paper rolls and like little silicone cupcake tins and like stacking cups and balls, and she was content. We had a basket of just like scarves I got from an op shop. That got played with way more. So I ended up selling them after like a month or two on Marketplace. And so that is a regret. You do not need the shiny Pinteresty, Instagrammy Montessori toy. Now we're moving on to eating. Let me say, for starters, You don't need anything to do with your baby eating until your baby starts eating, which will be somewhere between 4 and 6 months. That's a long time to just store that stuff in the newborn phase while your baby is on milk. So definitely wait, because you don't know. Again, when you're pregnant, you have no idea what you're going to do and what you're going to need and what people are going to give you. People give you so much stuff and you're having a new baby. So don't buy anything when you're pregnant. So first thing is a smock bib. I saw a lot of mums on YouTube using these. They seemed really practical. I saw a really cute one and I put it on my list for my baby shower. Yeah, we used it once and she hated it being on her and it didn't even really work. The food would still get up her sleeves and in her collar, and we ended up never really using it. It makes me sad that that was bought new. As cute as it is, we didn't need it. Next thing is this drinking cup. In Australia, I don't know if it's the same overseas, but in Australia at the moment, these little cups are really, really popular. I was working in childcare when I was pregnant and I saw every kid had one of these cups, and we had friends who had a toddler who were like, they're amazing, it teaches them to drink out of a cup but they can't spill it. You know, it just seemed like every baby had one, and so I just was pregnant and I was like, oh, if everyone has one, we need one. And so I just put it on the list and someone bought one for us and we literally never used it. By the time she was starting solids and having water, we went to Montessori and we ended up using a shot glass. She worked out how to use that so quickly and has been drinking just out of a glass ever since, literally since she was like 6 months old. It's weird to me because I avoided buying plastic, but for some reason, just because everyone had this, I was like, oh, we need it. And then I ended up giving it away brand new because we never ever used it. When we've been at other people's houses, my daughter has gone to take their cup. She could not work out how to drink out of this thing, but she drinks out of a cup. So you kind of wonder. Again, excellent marketing. Next thing on the list is sleep sacks with the TOG rating. Oh my goodness, 100 points for the marketing on these. I got so sucked in. I saw other mums again recommending these to me, saying it's really important because temperature control, and you know, you're so afraid of SIDS in that first year. I think it's every mother's worst nightmare that you just want to do everything perfect. And so I got one of those cards that come with the Ergo patches that tells you like, if it's this temperature, they need to wear this TOG. Oh my goodness. It's such a scam. And to buy all the ones that they recommend would just be insanely expensive because these things are so expensive to buy. But also the temperature kind of range that they give you, if you live in Australia, that is not the range of temperatures that we are exposed to. We were not willing to have a heater on all winter, and we were not willing to have aircon on anytime it was over 24 degrees. In the end, I had a couple that we'd borrowed from friends. I had a couple I got secondhand, and we hardly even used them. And we were able to just use a blanket and kind of tuck her in, and it was fine. Again, most parts of the world, most of human history, nobody had TOG ratings for sleep sacks. And you consider that different pajamas have different TOG ratings, but they're not written on most of them. So to like use the system perfectly, you would have to buy everything from Ergo Patch. That would just literally bankrupt you. They're so expensive. I had some that were like sleep sacks that didn't have the TOG rating, and I was afraid to use them because I was like, well, I don't know what the TOG rating is. You're a person, you can feel if something's warm. You can see, oh, it's cold outside, I'm gonna wear a jumper that's heavy or a jumper that's not. You can do the same for your baby. Believe in yourself, you're a mom. You will be checking your baby all night anyways. You can feel if they're hot, you can feel if they're cold. It's fine. The next item on my list is new clothes. Something I was not prepared for becoming a parent was how quickly they grow out of clothes. I was so excited for all those little newborn clothes, and they were used for such a short time. They go through like 5 or 6 sizes in the first year, and so to be spending money on fast fashion and buying those clothes new, it's incredibly wasteful. And the thing is, because so many people get excited, you know, extended family members, people in the circle, everyone wants to buy cute clothes for the baby, me too, you end up with so many, and op shops are overloaded with baby clothes. So I made a promise when I was pregnant to not buy any of her clothes new, so I got them all from the op shop. But there were a couple of times once she arrived that I got a bit tempted wandering through Target, and I only ever bought 3, maybe 5 items at different times new, and they were always on clearance for like $3 or $5. So it's not really about the money, it's more about the principle. I was like justifying it, and then she used it for 5 minutes. And there's just no need, because the hand-me-downs that you will get, the clothes that are in the op shop, she wears a lot of Seed. She has like Marimekko leggings at the moment. Like, we have nice brands and they've all come from hand-me-downs or op shops. So I don't see a need for going and buying baby clothes new. there's no need. There's so many baby clothes already in the world that I don't think we need to buy them new. I don't beat myself up because I was excited. I was a new mom. It was fun. I just look back and go, we didn't need that. Now, the last thing that I've got on this list, I want to say, is actually not a regret, but I wanted to have it on this list. If you are someone who is wondering what is the bare minimum that you can get away with, a change table. We got our change table on Marketplace. I think it's beautiful. I love our change table and it has gotten so much use. So I am happy with that purchase. However, I don't think you need one. There were times when we were moving, we had a phase where my daughter really hated the change table and we would just use the bed or the floor and it was 100% fine. Especially if you have a bed frame. You might find that it's like the same height as the change table anyways. It's not like you're breaking your back. And when you're out and about, you are in the habit of changing them on the floor or on a bed or on a couch. So there is actually no need to get a change table. I thought it was essential. It seemed like the cot and the change table, that's what you get. You don't need one, in my opinion. It's nice to have. I've enjoyed having ours, but you don't need one. It's not a must. That is the end of the list. I hope that it prevents you from buying something that you would regret and just have to sell and would clutter up your space. When in doubt, just wait. If you learned something today or found it useful, please take a second to subscribe. I'm a brand new channel. You're an amazing parent just for being here. I will see you next time.